Good evening, my mates. We are here to do what we call the match day live. Man City versus Brighton. The starting 11s are going to be named by their respective managers, and we're here to obviously discuss this game of football. I know we are really eagerly waiting to see what result is really going to be here, and this is one of the games that Man City are really having in hand to obviously catch up with Arsenal. Smash the like button, comment, and share. If you're totally watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. And this is Rock and David, Match Day Live, 25th of April. This is the game that Pep Guardiola needs to win if at all is to keep his chances of really winning the Premier League alive. Remember, if he wins all his games he's left with, he's gonna really coming through to really clinch the trophy. But Arsenal is now 4 points ahead of the side of Man City. But remember, Arsenal is going to play 34 games, and Man City has going to play 32. So this is one of the hugest games that they're ready to face. And guess what? The manager of Man City is going to name the following players to come on and beat us or eat with the side of Arsenal: Ederson, Kyle Walker, Akanji, Nathan Ake, Vadio, Rodrigo, Kovacic, De Bruyne, Bernardo, Foden, and Alvarez. That is the team of Man City that is going to be named by the manager Pep Guardiola to obviously face off the side of Brighton. Then Ortega, Moreno, Diaz, Stones, Grealish, Doku, Gomez, Nunes, Bob, and Lewis. That is the bench of Manchester City into this beautiful game of football that is going to be really played. If you're a purist, this is the kind of game you need to watch because these two teams almost play the same style of football, and Pep Guardiola is an admirer of Roberto De Zerbi. Now, we go to the lineup of Brighton. They're having Steele, Dunk, Yao Pedro, Gross, Lallana, Moda, Welbeck, Bako, Baleba, Van Heck, and Veltman. That is the starting 11 for the side of Brighton. Then substitutes: Verbruggen, Igor Julio, Webster, Insiko, Adingra, Ansu Fati, Bournemouth, then Ofia, and O'Mahony. That is the team for the side of Brighton as they take on the side of Man City. And it's really one of those games that you go into when you really need to obviously know exactly what the stats have been like every time these teams are going to hit to face one another at this side. And let me try to read you these stats, and then we go into how the teams have gone ahead to line up and what the managers have gone ahead to say ahead of this tie, because I've gone ahead to see Pep Guardiola on my screen, obviously explaining to the world as to why it's always difficult for them to play against Brighton. First and foremost, Brighton have lost 11 of their last 13 Premier League games against Man City, 1 draw and 1 win, though each of their 4 points and against the citizens in the competition have come across their last 3 home games against them. So, in the last 3 games, towards the end of the season, obviously, that's when Brighton has always gone ahead, obviously, see they draw and beat Man City at home. So, in the previous 3 encounters, obviously, Brighton have gone ahead to stop Man City. And would they stop them today? We wait and see. Secondly, Man City have scored in all 13 of their Premier League games against Brighton. They've only faced Bournemouth 14 more often in competition while scoring in every game. So, City has always gone ahead to come in through and really score very many goals when they are playing Brighton. Both teams, Man City, have failed to beat Brighton in the Premier League, have come in a midweek. Sorry, both times Man City have failed to beat Brighton in the Premier League, have come in the midweek. In a midweek game at Amex Stadium, they lost 3-2 in May 2021. It was a Tuesday, and drew 1-1 in May 2023 Wednesday, though had already been confirmed as champion. So for me, the reason why I don't count the other that moment when Man City was playing against Brighton last season at Amex, because Man City had already gone ahead to win what we call the trophy, and I didn't think that they put in their top gears. I think they played at like 1 gear 2, and they're obviously thinking about the Champions League that was around the corner, the FA Cup. There was no need for them to obviously come in through to do the job and really play against this team Brighton with a huge gear. So today it's the hugest test of De Zerbi. Can he really overcome a City side that has a lot to do with winning the trophy? That is it. Fourthly, Brighton have failed to score in all 3 of their midweek Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday Premier League games so far in 2024, drawing 0-0 with both West Ham and Brentford and losing 4-0 to Luton Town. So I don't know how he's really going to rise up to the occasion, but I tell you, I fear a little bit for Brighton. I know they can put in a shift, but I really fear a little bit for them because of what they have at stake. You know, they are not the Brighton they were last season with McAllister and Caicedo in that midfield. Then, lastly, Man City have won 17 of their 19 midweek Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday Premier League games over the last 3 seasons, with expectations being a 1-1 draw, with the exceptions being a 1-1 draw with Brighton, May 2023, and a 1-0 loss to Aston Villa, December, right, 2023. That is it. So that's how the team of Man City has gone ahead to fare up with Brighton, and we wait and see how these 2 teams are really going to take on themselves. Smash like button, comment and share. If you're watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. Now we head into what we call the formations of how these 2 teams are really going to line up, and we start off with Man City and how they're really going to line up. Ederson is in goal. He returns in goal because in the last time they played in the FA Cup, it was none other than this guy. What's the name of the guy? He's called Ortega. Ortega has always gone ahead to be their goalkeeper, but this time around it's Ederson returning from injury and doing great. Kyle Walker is playing in a 3-man central defense because Man City has gone ahead to deploy a 3-2-4-1 system, a system that is really deadly, and when you see it, you just get to know that the manager of Man City really has a lot to lose in the game, and we'll wait to see what the results are really gonna be. Now, we go to Kyle Walker is playing on the right side of the 3-man central defense. Vadio on the left side of the 3-man central defense. Nathan Ake at the center of the 3-man central defense. That is the back 3 of Man City. Now, Akanji and Rodri are being played in the double pivot for the side of Man City. And now we are having Silva playing as a right winger in the system. Foden as a left winger. Kovacic and Kevin De Bruyne playing as 2 central attacking midfielders, and Julian Alves is leading the line. Again, Haaland has gone ahead to miss out on this event because he's really injured. He never made the trip to Wembley over the weekend, but we expected him to show up in the game of Brighton, but it looks like no chances of him showing up, and it's like he's out of this game completely. Now, when you look at that team of Man City, it really has a lot of quality that can really cause havoc when they're playing against this side of Brighton. But in this game of football, whoever scores more is going to win this game of football. I tell you, all these teams are not good defensively, provided you really hit at their central defense. If you get at their central defense, they're not good defenders, and their strength is keeping the ball. That is it. Their strength is in keeping the ball, and that's what they do best. So I tell you, it's really going to be a more heated game that many people will want to watch, and it's really very important to note that it's really one of those games that you wouldn't want to miss out. So Kevin De Bruyne is the player to watch out because he can create a moment of magic, and with Brighton leaving some spaces, he might really utilize them. And Julian Alves, by the way, is a deadly guy. He can really create lots of things in there for you, but we want to wait and see how fatigue has gone ahead to catch up with the side of Man City. That is what I'm waiting to see, because they've played very many games against Chelsea. They were really tired, and that's why you saw to it that people like Bernardo Silva and Rodri said, we are tired. We are tired. Our engines are really busting up, and we need a rest. And they've been resting ever since Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. They had the rest of 4 days, and they obviously coming through to play against Brighton. And after playing against Brighton, they are going to be playing against Nottingham Forest over the weekend. So it is really a huge, all a heated up fixture for them, and we wait to see how they obviously come into this. Now, for De Zerbi, he has come up with a 4-2-3-1 system, still in goal. Very good press-resistant goalkeeper. Then Veltman is playing as a right back, meaning that he's going to be facing Phil Foden, and he needs to be on top of his game. Then Bako, left back, is going to be facing Bernardo Silva. He's going to be facing Bernardo Silva. Then Van Heek and Lewis Dunk playing in the central defense. Lewis Dunk on the left side of the central defense and Van Heek on the right side of the central defense. And Julian Alves is going to be facing the central defense, and they need to be on alert for the full 90 minutes, because if you sleep for a second, Julian Alves will obviously connect that ball into the back of the net. Then Prob and Baleba, they are playing the double pivot. This is their new midfield. Remember, they lost their double pivot of Caicedo and McAllister, and they're going to have to bring in two players that have going to hit, obviously, hold it up very well, and I think they're really good. And I know next summer they will be on the market. One of these two will be on the market to be sold to a big team, because big teams will obviously look at teams like Brighton and what they have to offer into this beautiful game of football in here. Now, after that, they go to Moda, is being played as a central attacking midfielder, right? Then Adam Lallana, right winger. Adam Lallana is that kind of player that you obviously trust in such big games. He kills big teams. He's a big game player, and his moments are never forgotten. João Pedro is being played as a left attacking midfielder. Yeah, I understand. And Welbeck is leading the line for the side of Brighton. So Brighton can really haunt any team, but the big question is, can they be resilient and really be watertight in their central defense? Can they put there a Berlin wall that Man City cannot break? Because for Man City, they'll attack you, and through attacking you, it's up to you whether you give them a goal or not. But we're going to see teams having a better way to play against them. So that is it, and let's look at the bench and see which team has a better bench before we really go into what these managers are going to say. When you look at the bench, for Brighton, I think they have Julio Insiko. He can come on through and really do a very good job. Simon Adingra can also do a very beautiful job in there for you. Ansu Fati can also do a good job. And Facundo Bounut can also come on through and do a very good job. So I think they have 4 players that can come in through and really change the game. For Man City, which players do they have that can change the game from the bench, especially in the offensive play? Jack Grealish, one of them. Jeremy Doku, second. Then Matthias Nunes and Oscar Bob. So all of these two teams have 4 players that can come off the bench and really change the game. And this is where the tactics kick in. So we are going to see which tactics are really going to be orchestrated by the manager of Brighton tonight, and how Pep Guardiola is really going to do his stuff, because the magic is really going to be the reason as to why a team lifts this game and takes out 3 points. For Man City, they know how heated this is. And they're going to obviously do the needful. Now, when he was asked on how it's hard to play against De Zerbi, he said that De Zerbi is brave. It doesn't matter which opponent, he wants to impose his game. The process in build-up with the keeper, defenders, holding midfielders, they are exceptional. He's a perfect person in world of football. His teams are so attractive. In Italy, Ukraine, now here, a lot of problems this season with injuries. Important players left. The way he plays is completely recognizable, really good. I'm a spectator, always like to watch when we are opponents. I suffer. So when the opponents, they suffer. He loves the way this team really orchestrates itself and how they behave when they're really having that game of football. So I understand. De Zerbi plays some good football. It's really an eye to watch, and it's a beauty to watch but can he really hold on to the attacking volumes, the volumes of attacks that Man City is going to be really throwing at him? Can he really hold up on that attack? That is the hugest question that you'll ever want to ask this man. Will he really hold on to these attacks? Because if he can't, then annihilation will be inevitable, because Man City can come in through and really annihilate them. I saw Arsenal come here and beat them 3-0. I think Man City can do the same if at all they don't act better. So if they act better, I think they'll really get something out of this game, something that Arsenal fans are really wanting to see. Remember, Man City wants to also come in through and really score very many goals, because Arsenal has gone ahead to obviously score 5, and Arsenal have gone ahead to score 12 more goals. They have a goal difference of 12 goals, right? And Man City needs to obviously utilize the 2 games they have in hand to obviously close in on Arsenal. That is it. So for De Zerbi, on the difficulty of facing Pep Guardiola as Man City, he said, what do you think? Pep is the best coach, and still very tough playing against Man City, against Pep. So he says, but we know we are Brighton, we are proud, with courage, we try to play a good game. That's what we are getting in from the manager. Very bold and brave to obviously take on Pep Guardiola. By the way, very few teams can go head to head to obviously, very few teams have gone ahead to obviously go heads on with Man City. Even Arsenal never went heads on with Man City. They never played a high line, but they obviously had to really run a lot. And you saw the game they drew with Man City. Man City had a lion's share of the possession. Arsenal never went player per player. They were like, let's obviously keep the discipline and we're not going to attack this side. But for this man, he comes out and attacks him left, right, and center. So it shows you exactly what he really has to lose in there for you. So in the comment section, I'm really having Clement Akura, good luck with Brighton. You're saying 2. All right. Mozora Eli, I'm an Arsenal guy. I need a 1-1 draw. I know Arsenal want to see City dropping points, but I tell you, in these next 2 games, I smell City dropping points. Either the game of Brighton or the game of Wolverhampton or the game of Nottingham Forest over the weekend. I see City dropping points because they are going to rest for Friday and Sunday, and they're going to be playing on the road. So will they be having enough energy to obviously go that side and be the win? I know they are left with 2 tournaments, a final to play on the 26th or 27th of May and the Premier League. But these 2 games are coming in thick and fast, and Man City has a lot to do to obviously stop themselves from really doing the needful. So let's obviously have a look at the Premier League table and see what these 2 teams are really fighting in for. Because for Man City, obviously, it's not that they are fighting in for Champions League football, but they are fighting in for what we call a league title. That's why they want 3 points in every game they are left with. Remember, they're now left with 6 games, and we can't wait to see how they obviously pan out. Now, Arsenal, 77 points. Man City, 73 points. If Man City win today, they'll be at 76 points, a point behind Arsenal. That is it. Arsenal have a chance to retake the lead, because if they win against Spurs on Sunday, they'll go to 80 points, and Man City, if they win against Nottingham, they'll go to 79. So that is how the race is going to really heat it up in there for you. And Man City is fighting for the trophy. Let's see, Brighton is 11th, and Brighton is 11th, is having 44 points, and all they want is to come in the first 8-7 positions in there for you. They've gone ahead to play 2 games less, and that's why the game of football is going ahead to come in through to play against Man City. It's a game in hand. So when you look at this, they'll be playing, if they win today, they go to 47. They win the other game they have in hand, they go to 50 points, and it takes them to where Newcastle, West Ham is, that league. So we wait to see how these 2 teams will pan out. But the game of football is going to hit to start off, and it's really Brighton trying to do the possession-based kind of acts in the game. Players going to hit to be brought down. The referee is going to hit to say play on, and we wait to see how tricky this game really goes. Is Man City going to win it? That's really the hugest answer. Sorry, that is the hardest answer that I can ever give. But I tell you, if Man City go through these 2 games with 6 points, I would have gone to give them the trophy, because they are tight games. Playing 2 games away from home is not an easy thing, if at all you've been following up what teams are like. Now, When you look at Man City, they're obviously playing with a 3-man central defense, and it's Bernardo Silva dropping deep in the midfield. He passes that ball. Liverpool yesterday went ahead to lose, and when Liverpool lost, you know what happened? They are now tied onto 70 stories. They are on 74 points. They missed out on a chance to tie with Arsenal at 77. So, is City also gonna drop? Remember, last time Arsenal dropped and Liverpool dropped points. Now, this time Arsenal won, Liverpool dropped points. Now we are waiting to see whether Man City is also gonna go ahead and really drop points. So guys, let me end this poll and really let you watch the game. When it's done and dusted, I'm gonna come here and really talk to you. I'm having Alobo graphics, wish Brighton the best, and they can do it. Yeah, they can do it, but it depends on how they defend. If they don't let in very many goals and they score, I think it will happen. And fans of the Rokani Media Football have gone ahead to vote like this. It's a draw. Most of you are predicting a draw at 38%. Brighton win 33%. Man City win 28%. That's how you people have gone ahead to vote. So let's see how the result is gonna be. But Rokan David is my name. I sign out for now. See you later. And may the living to God bless you abundantly. And we cover you all in the precious blood of Jesus Christ, if at all you are the Christians. Guys, we out.